Oh boy, quite a story for everybody here. This is in the New York Post. Ex-priest pleads guilty to obscenity after filming threesome on church altar. Okay, so here's what they say. A disgraced Louisiana Catholic priest has pleaded guilty to a felony obscenity charge for filming a threesome with two dominatrixes on a church's altar. Travis Clark got a 3-year suspended prison sentence for engaging in the unholy trinity, along with 3 years of supervised probation and a $1,000 fine, reported The Advocate. So just to be clear, that means he's actually not going to prison, because a 3-year suspended prison sentence means you're just not going right now. I don't know if that means in the future he definitely will, but my understanding is he's not going right now. But still, he's getting probation and a $1,000 fine. A representative of the Archdiocese of New Orleans was present in court and signed off on the sentence after Clark entered his plea Monday. The 39-year-old was serving as pastor at St. Peter and Paul Catholic Church in Pearl River when one night in September 2020, when a passerby noticed that the lights were on inside the church. When the witness peered through a window, he saw a half-naked Clark having a sex romp with two women in corsets and high-heeled boots atop the altar. So this is the guy right here. He looks like the type that would have a threesome in a church. I don't think there's any denying that. He also looks like the type to huff glue or like do whippets or some shit, right? Anyway, let's continue. So this is the church. By the way, this is where it happened. This is where it all went down. Police officers who were called to the church discovered a tripod-mounted camera that had been recording the sick romp. Sex toys and stage lighting were also found at the scene. Cops determined that everything that went on that night was consensual, but arrested the randy clergyman and his two scantily clad companions on obscenity charges because they were in the view of the public. So again, here's the dude, and then here are the two women who were with him, the two dominatrixes. The two professional dominatrixes, Mindy Dixon and Melissa Cheng, pleaded guilty in July to misdemeanor counts of institutional vandalism and were slapped with 2 years of probation. On the eve of the incident, Dixon had reportedly bragged on social media that she was going to defile a house of God. The desecrated altar was burned in the aftermath of Clark's demonic conduct, according to the Archbishop of New Orleans, and a new altar was consecrated in November 2020. That's hilarious. Clark, who was ordained in 2013, was defrocked shortly after his arrest. He has paid restitution to the church to the amount of $8,000. Okay, so let's just go over the basics of this one more time, okay? This dude right here, priest, was having a threesome with two dominatrixes, and they were recording it. They had sex toys and all sorts of stuff. It was being done in a church on the altar, and some dude was walking by, saw the light was on, peeked in, saw, oh my God, they're having sex, called the cops showed up, arrested these people. They were found guilty. They're getting probation. They're being fined. And again, a suspended 3-year sentence was given to this guy. And the charge is obscenity. Okay? Now, I totally disagree with this. The ruling is insane. Okay? When I was reading the story originally, I was looking like, because I have covered this before, but now we got the result. We got he was convicted, right? And I remember reading and thinking like, okay, when are we going to get to the part where a crime's committed? Their claim is, it was in public view. That's why you're being found guilty of obscenity. No. It was not in public view. It was after hours, and then some nosy asshole peeked in because he saw a light on in there. That's not in public view. That guy made it in his view. He could have just saw the light was on and kept it moving. He didn't do it. Look, where does this actually stem from? It stems from this goofy notion that, this is actually like a very holy place where like God is present, and you like desecrated the area with your vile acts. And so that's why, it's like, in other words, if this was, let's say it was at after hours at some business and this happened, I don't think they would have been found guilty. Or if like, this was at somebody's house and the lights were on and somebody peeked in the window because they didn't close the shades, I don't think they would have been found guilty. The only reason why they were found guilty is because it was in a church. And the only reason why people have a stick up their ass over this is because they feel like, oh, the church is holy, bro. You're not supposed to do, like, bad stuff in the holy place, bro. But in reality, totally victimless crime. What went on was completely consensual from everybody involved. They were not doing it in public view. In fact, they thought they were doing it privately, right? And they got caught. I file that under the get the fuck over it. I file that under get the fuck over it. It's in that category, okay? Like, who cares? Who cares? Nobody got hurt, was totally consensual. Sounds like they had a good time, right? It seems like they did. And now, the guy loses his job, gets fined thousands of dollars, has to be on probation, and gets a 3-year suspended sentence because he had sex? Fuck out of here, bro. I think the thing that, look, so if you had a situation where it truly was like brazenly in the public eye, then I could understand some sort of punishment, right? Like they do it in the public eye knowing there's a very high likelihood they're going to get caught. Then it's like, okay, that's a different story. But that wasn't the case. It was after hours. It was in a church. Nobody was around. They had every expectation of privacy, and they were having some fun. Okay? I don't buy this. Oh, it's such a holy, special place. You're not allowed to do it, bro. Certainly shouldn't be illegal. You might say, hey, it's decorum to not do it. Okay. But if they do it, you're really going to make a criminal case out of it? Fuck out of here, man. I was just watching that show White Lotus on, I think it's HBO. And in the most recent episode, spoiler alert, they have sex in a church, or they attempt to have sex in a church in one of the episodes. These are the types of people who made this an issue and brought this guy up on charges and found him guilty. They'd be the type of people to say, like, you should ban that scene from the movie because you're, desecrating a holy area by showing a sex scene in a church. And it's like, how about you go shut the fuck up? How about you go waste your time with something better? Anyway, free my boy. He did nothing wrong. Free these girls. They just had some fun. Really, really no serious downside to it. All right, guys, that's the show. I love y'all very much. Everybody do me a favor. Click like on the video. Click subscribe. Leave a comment. Click that bell notification thingy so you know every time a video drops. Thank you to all the Patreon supporters of the show. And thank you to the Crystal Kyle and Friends Substack members. You can always listen to this on the podcast apps if you'd like, the full shows. And yeah, have a very happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Make sure you eat a colossal amount of food. I love you all, and I'll talk to you later. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.